We are less than a month away from Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. While the Raiders are not in contention, there's still an electric atmosphere here in the Valley as sportsbooks brace for one of the busiest times of the year. The big game kicks off February 12th, and you can watch it right here on Fox 5.
But there are already plenty of football fans here in the Valley looking ahead to Super Bowl 58. Take a look at the countdown, 388 days and counting. In just over a year, the NFL's top two teams will square off at Allegiant Stadium. The big game will pour millions into the Las Vegas economy and lift up plenty of local businesses.
Fox 5's Drew Andre met a handful of hopeful business owners hoping to cash in big, too. He joins us live tonight outside Allegiant. Drew?
Well, John, for the last 8 Super Bowls now, the NFL Business Connect has brought in minority local business owners to be suppliers for the big game and for the events surrounding the Super Bowl.
The subcontractors who are here in Las Vegas, they bring the labor force. You know, they bring the nuts and bolts of everything we need to produce a Super Bowl. We come in with the ideas, they come in with all the talent to make it happen.
More than 200 Las Vegas business owners are invited into the Super Bowl 58 Business Connect program. The local businesses have to be over 50% owned by a minority, a woman, LGBTQ, disabled, or a veteran. And these are the businesses that will support the 10 major events around the Super Bowl and at the stadium for game day. Like Danette Bro's Funnel Cake Shop at Town Square, that's been catering for events in Las Vegas for 16 years.
Because it gives Bro's Funnel Cake Cafe so much more exposure, not just for the Super Bowl, but I like the fact that it carries over to other things and that we're able to meet and connect and network with a lot of different people.
Not every business owner is guaranteed to land a contract to work the Super Bowl, and the competition is stiff, but dozens will, and the Connect program also comes with workshops to help grow their businesses. Organizers say in previous Super Bowls, some business owners have grown food trucks into restaurants and flower stands to brick and mortars.
Not everyone will get to live that story, but everyone will get an opportunity to become more competitive, to learn how to compete and be successful.
It will definitely create opportunities for us that we weren't able to take advantage of before in the past, so helping us to grow and just to expand our capacity going forward.
And the Raiders are taking notice of these businesses, too. Even if they're not given a contract to work around the Super Bowl, the Raiders are keeping a database and will hire those business owners for Raiders events and other events here at Allegiant Stadium. Reporting live tonight, I'm Drew Andre, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.